ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Vanitas. And honestly, this episode we're finally getting some answers along with a lot of questions, finding out some tidbits of informations about Vanitas's past, putting a lot of things into perspective. And I gotta say, the chemistry between Noe and Vanitas, especially in this episode, was so much fun. We had serious parts and again more comedy parts of the episode. It felt like blended or fused together so good. Honestly, I enjoyed this episode quite a lot, and we have a lot of stuff to go through it, so let's get into it and talk about it. Now, with the way last episode ended on a cliffhanger, with Roland almost getting ready to kill them, Noe still being dazed. I like how throughout this episode they are bickering so much. I'm having so much fun with their interactions every time they're on screen. It's their show, of course, but they steal the show in a good and funny way. And Roland, honestly, he's starting to grow on me. I still don't like parts of his personality, but this is what makes him a good character. Man, the way he went after Vanitas when he found out that he is Vanitas, the one from the Blue Moon vampires. I want to say, are you being used by vampires? Are they forcing you? Even started crying over Vanitas, assuming just in his own head, just putting everything together to fit his own narrative over there. Vanitas had the best reaction, just being creeped out or cringe fest by now. I can't deal with people like this. Noe put it perfectly. Further into the episode, you finally found your match. I gotta say, they're complete opposite, and I liked it quite a lot. Finally, somebody that Vanitas can't just simply charm his way out, so to say. But we have the fight also, Noe versus Roland. Was pretty close, and Roland, I kind of feel he had the advantage. I don't know how equal the fight would have been if Noe wasn't weakened by that flashbang, because he even gets electrocuted with that weapon, Durandal, that Roland had. I don't know, is it technological weapon fused with magic and stuff like that? It's still, or alchemical weapon, don't know how exactly it works, but Roland is definitely very powerful. Even Vanitas gave him credit. Even throughout the episode, they tried to win the fight without actually directly fighting with Roland. And Vanitas even had to jump in and save Noe, because he would have lost there, and that allows them to get away a bit from Roland, even though he gets some more reinforcements, Maria and George, which they were pretty fun. Also, especially their reactions towards the end of the episode. And now we have our characters on the run. That was pretty fun. And throughout the episode, you see these reactions, changes in the atmosphere, or Vanitas' demeanor. You know, even Noe took notice, especially the faces he was making. And you see the connection he had through that place, knowing it very well, felt something about ever since he was there. Noe is actually keeping his word, trying to find out more about Roland, observing him, trying to get along with him, even though they bicker quite a lot. I feel like they work together so good. Even the teasing, Noe teasing Vanitas about Roland, and this is where we get some much needed answers. We're in episode 9, my bad, and we basically don't know anything about Vanitas up to this point, just some random assumptions, random clues and so on, but he's a bit honest in this episode. Then we find out that he was looking for Moro, or Dr. Moro, vampire researchers that were working with the Chasseurs, but he was exiled because he was too insane, so to say, experimenting, even had production numbers for his own guinea pigs, or what he was using for his experiments. Number 128 was on the insignia they had. Later we find out that Vanitas also had a number, and they have a history, a very dark history, so to say the least. Even Moro, we see that he's alive, remembering him, and he got very excited realizing that Vanitas is back, and said something very curious, that the vampire of the Blue Moon took him away from him. Now, does this mean the Vampire of the Blue Moon saved Vanitas in a way? Or was it more from a devil to another devil, so to say? We still don't have any idea of what exactly or who exactly the Vampire of the Blue Moon is, but I'm happy we're getting some glimpses into Vanitas, so to say the least. And Roland is pretty cute, a bit of naivete to him, especially when he was giving his report. He forgot to report that Vanitas is there. And they finally go on the run. We have Vanitas knowing the labyrinth much better than the actual chasseurs, being able to outsmart them, and even using the book to take care of the robots they had over there, being able to alter the world formula. So I think I said this before, but I feel like that book has a lot more power than just saving vampires from curses. And I still have a lot of questions about the book, the Blue Moon Vampires, but hopefully we're gonna get some answers because we're nearing the last few episodes. I think it has a second core also, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm having a lot of fun with the series. Now, Noe throughout this episode was trying to understand Vanitas, find out what exactly his history is to this place. We found out from Vanitas that his parents were slain by a vampire, the chasseur saved him, and they kind of try to indoctrinate him or put him into their cult, because it kind of feels like a cult. I really don't like this type of institutions, organizations, however you wanna call it, with how they handle situation. Even Vanitas put it best: sanctimonious, trying to fit every narrative to their own beliefs. Doesn't matter what anybody says, they pretty much stuck to their way. But Roland surprised me a bit, honestly, this episode, and I'll get to that. They tried to train him, put him into their organization, but Moreau intervened or caught his eye, so to say, and used him as a guinea pig. Now, we don't know what experiments or what exactly happened, but being experimented on, that's not a good thing at all. So hopefully we're gonna get more information about that, and kind of slowly starting to understand Vanitas a bit, and the dark look that he has sometimes when he changes his entire demeanor from that funny, snarky character where you get his serious mode, so to say. And Noe took notice quite a lot, especially this episode. And they try to deal with Roland without fighting. Even Vanitas had a plan to take Maria, one of the reinforcements they got, as hostages. I gotta say, I liked Noe quite a lot from this point on. He started bickering. Noe didn't want to do this because he would have endangered their chances to solve this peacefully. But Vanitas has this ingrained thing into him that he doesn't like people that limit themselves, especially looking at vampires. They always limit themselves even though they have the power, and he views humans and vampires as monsters. So something more happened there with the Blue Moon Vampire, besides his parents getting killed, being experimented on. To say the least, having a bad childhood, that would be an understatement. Even more after this this episode. And Noe had a brilliant idea. And the look he had on his face after Vanitas went off on him, snapped at him a bit. You do have a point there. And I kind of figured it out instantly from the look he had there. Noe takes him hostage now that Roland wanted to save him. And we have a brilliant Oscar performance by Noe. And they kind of succeed because Noe used Vanitas as a distraction, throwing him in the air, making Roland go after him, and he gets the drop on him, actually knocking him down with a thunder kick over there, so to say. And the next thing he did instantly, the kick was probably, they didn't deal as much damage as what Noe did to Roland, because after the kick we have Roland instantly, hey, nice to meet you, I'm Noe, I come in peace. Roland was just dumbfounded, and I liked that quite a lot. And they finally start talking, figuring out what exactly was happening. that they were there in peace, so to say the least. They didn't kill the guys they took the clothes from, and that Dr. Moreau is still alive. The Chasseur kind of is like a black mark on their history with Dr. Moreau. They didn't know he was still alive. They talk it out, and Roland, this was the moment I started liking quite a lot, because he actually listened, agreed, and got more curious about, no, I feel they're very similar in a way, the way they look at things, being very curious and into it. And we have Roland proposing instantly, let's be friends, Noe. Why not? And Noe just couldn't be happier. His plan worked. I'm so happy he listened. And the chibi faces, the faces, they have the art style this episode. Some shots were so good. And like I said, Roland and Noe have some similarities, especially with the way they react to new things and stuff they're curious about. And Roland put a very good question, that's why I started liking him more. Oh, okay, this entire thing happened, okay, we solved it, but why didn't you say this from the beginning? That's a very good point. I laughed my ass off when he made that comment. And Vanitas just simply cannot handle Roland. And I like seeing Vanitas in that situation. Kind of mostly seen him in control with everybody, even Ruthven, very powerful individual, but Roland has his number, to say the least. Now, the curious part that happened, they're finally going after Moreau, and he was just simply happy, throwing a welcome party, waiting for them there, and we find out Vanitas is number 69. Nice. And I'm not so sure what to make of that ending. Might be Vanitas just pretending, because he instantly swapped his demeanor, just being so happy. Even the scene with flowers over there blooming, or whatever that was, the last shot of the episode. Is he just trying to play Moreau, or is there something more going on over there? And I'm very curious about this Moreau guy, and a lot more questions about Vanitas' past. And I'm so happy after this episode finally getting some answers. And of course, more questions, as it's kind of becoming a tradition, but I gotta say, I'm having a lot of fun with the series. The comedy is there, the serious parts are definitely there, the characters are so fun, quirky, and interesting, and I just want more. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys what you think about this episode, especially about Vanitas' past, the things he went through. Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot. You guys get the latest videos on the street that I follow. So keep enjoying Vanitas, because I show them. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.